True Crime in Illinois. Part 2. The scene shifts to the desperate hours following the murder. The Alton Police Department had a victim, a crime scene, and a prime suspect, DeAndre Holloway, who had vanished into the night. But DeAndre's frantic attempts to cover his tracks left a clear trail. At 2:30 a.m., just hours after leaving the crime scene, he arrived at his mother's house, banging on the door. He was a nervous wreck, pacing and agitated. He had driven Lisa's black car, which he abandoned nearby, placing a handwritten for sale sign in the window. A strange, desperate attempt to create the illusion of normalcy. The next morning, his peculiar behavior continued. His sister found him in the bathroom, actively cutting off his beloved dreadlocks, a sudden, visible effort to change his identity, which he rationalized as a fresh start. He disposed of the cut hair and the blood-stained clothes he was wearing, stuffing them into the family's trash can outside. Yet, his guilt was not so easily hidden. His grandmother noticed that he possessed Lisa's most personal belongings, her ID and debit card. When questioned, DeAndre offered a paper-thin lie, claiming he'd simply found her keys and cards on the ground. To his family, these actions were confirmation of what they already feared. The manhunt ended not with a dramatic capture, but with an anticlimax. At 1:45 a.m. on June 10th, police in a different county, Gillespie, Illinois, arrested DeAndre on a routine cannabis charge. Transferred to Alton, he became unmanageable. In custody, the facade of the cool killer crumbled. He was restless and erratic, repeatedly challenging the officers. At one point, his manic behavior culminated in a terrifying display. He began to laugh hysterically, then violently smashed his head against the wall, forcing police to physically restrain him. When brought in for an interview, he refused to give his name or any statement, only asking to go to work. He claimed to be dissociated, a clear sign of a troubled mind, but one that could not excuse his actions. He ultimately requested a lawyer, and the interrogation was cut short. DeAndre Holloway was silent, but the growing mountain of evidence already screamed his guilt.
Subscribe or follow for part 3. Like and comment to support this channel.